What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. One of the hosts of the podcast. My name is Kyle Dabra.
What's going on, everybody? The other half of the podcast, Kevin Valentin. Kyle, happy Thursday, my guy.
Yes, sir. We got one day till the weekend. Got anything planned for the weekend, my guy?
If all goes accordingly, I'll be coming up to see yo, dumbass.
Oh, yeah. We got the spot here at the crib whenever you need it, so you already know.
Yeah, we'll
But,
see what happens pending investigation.
yeah, to be determined. So, you ready for this topic that we're ready to hit?
Oh, you know it.
All right, let's dive into it. So, we're going to dive into the recent run of success that the Yankees have been currently on. They just finished up a 3-game series sweep of the Boston Red Sox earlier this week. And with the sweep, they leapfrogged the Boston Red Sox in the AL East standings. They're currently still 5.5 games back of the Tampa Bay Rays for the top spot in the AL East. However, they do currently hold one of the AL wildcard spots. And just a month ago, they looked like they were completely out of the playoff race. They were able to come back from a 10.5 game deficit against the Red Sox in just a month and a half. So it has been quite stellar the way that the Yankees have been playing. I mean, they've been on a 23, 24 to 8 run in that time frame. So you have to give a lot of credit to what the Yankees have been on currently. But Kevin, I've got to ask you, you're the diehard Yankee fan here. What is the limit for this team? And do you think that they can carry the success that they've been on the last month into the playoffs as long as they play their cards right?
I mean, personally, if I'm being honest, there's a lot of outlying factors for us right now. I mean, the offense is finally producing. The pitching staff is playing great. Right now, currently, we're up against the Twins, 7-4 in the bottom of the eighth. So, I mean, I'm just hoping we're able to solidify this game here to help us kind of narrow the gap between the Rays. But if I'm being honest, my biggest concern is going to be the end of our bullpen. I mean, lately, it has been a big struggle for us to finish out games. I mean, we lead the league in blown saves. We lead the league in runs led by in a game, and then we kind of blow that. I mean, there's been plenty of games we're up by multiple runs, and then we kind of give that up the ladder of our end of our bullpen. I mean, Chappie's blown a couple of saves. Britton has not been the same since he's returned from injury. I mean, you name it. Whoever we have put in the closing spot outside of Lazonia has kind of struggled. And that's where I would kind of put our concern. And of course, Odor just struck out swinging after a 9-pitch at bat. Whatever. We got to hope Chapman comes in and closes this game out for me because I can't deal with this consistent back and forth. But nevertheless, I know there are certain games where our offense starts off super, super hot within the first 4 innings, and then it goes absolutely stagnant for the rest of the game. And sometimes it's a little concerning, like I said, with the latter end of our bullpen kind of giving up the majority of our runs. So if you're going to start off hot, the bullpen's going to come in and they're not going to be able to solidify the deal, and then the offense goes completely stagnant. Like I said, it's not a successful formula. So for me, as I'm watching the Yankees play, it's almost like we have to score 5 to 6 runs within the first 4 or 5 innings to kind of hold off whatever hope other teams have of coming back, and we just have to have a consistent hitting form from the lineup. I mean, obviously, ever since we've acquired Rizzo and Gallo, it's been great in terms of production. But there's a litany of other players that have not played up to par. And obviously, starting at the catcher position, Gary Sanchez hasn't been consistent. Kyle Higashioka hasn't been consistent in terms of batting average. Odor has kind of been up and down. I know he's sitting right now at 221 or 220. So, I mean, like you really name it, the Yankees have a decent amount of holes in their lineup. Thankfully, we don't have a bunch of people batting under 200 like we did earlier on in the season. So I am grateful that people have stepped it up. Overall, we're looking at a cumulative average. If I had to spitball it, maybe around 230, 240. I do see a lot of people above 250 on this lineup as of right now, people that played today. Rizzo's at 249, so he's right there. Voit is at 242. He's right there. Judge is 283. Stanton is picking it back up to 263, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, the bottom line, our biggest concern is back of the bullpen from me, closing these games out, and then our offense remaining consistent throughout the entire game. But the way that we've been playing lately, I mean, the way we ended that Boston series with Velasquez, digging that ball out of the dirt coming off of, Odor's glove and then throwing it to first, and Rizzo being able to save that with a great scoop, that just emphasizes how different of a team that we are from here to last month where we were 10.5 back. We have the personnel to do it. We have the personalities to do it. We have the players to do it. I'm not going to go out there and say the coaching staff because we all know Aaron Boone is kind of an incompetent manager and sometimes can't read the situation of a game. And just, I don't know. I feel like he has no attention to detail when it comes to finishing. But we'll see what happens. I'm riding this wave as best as we can. Like Kyle said, this is the best record in baseball within this time span of being 23-8. If we can solidify this tonight and win this game, we have Chad Green closing the game out, which means Aroldis Chapman still isn't ready to play. Great. So we'll see what happens in this game. Oh God, pray for me, please. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited to see where we are. I'm happy we've turned it around since the trade. I'm excited to see what the rest of the month, and should I say the rest of the season, has to pan out. I mean, after this series with the Twins, we have 4 against the Twins, 2 interplay against the Braves. We have 4 against the Athletics, 3 against the Angels, 3 against the Orioles, and then we have another 4-game series against the Blue Jays. So the next remaining couple of weeks isn't the worst schedule in terms of difficulty, but they are definitely winnable games. And if we can close the gap between us and the Rays, which is currently right now at 5.5 games, I feel like we can for sure make a run at an AL East title if we continue to play with this momentum. And if we can get those players that are on that COVID list coming back slowly, Rizzo just came back, Garrett Cole just came back, Aroldis Chapman just came back. Unfortunately, Severino just had a setback, and currently, thankfully, the news came out today that he will not need surgery in his shoulder. But I would assume that he's probably done for the rest of the year. And then, of course, we're kind of sitting here waiting. We just gave a flyout, perfect. We just Oh my goodness, I can't even remember the name of the player that I'm talking about right now. Holy hell. The point of the matter is people are coming back from COVID. People are starting to get back into a groove. People are getting back into a rhythm, and it's great. I'm excited that we're doing good at this point in time in the season, and we just need to carry it on.
I mean, to be quite honest with you, I think you literally stated it as best as I could. I mean, the way that I'll kind of look at just the recent string of success that the Yankees have been on, I mean, Brian Cashman saved the series. I mean, excuse me, not the series. He saved the season for them because by and large, they couldn't hit. And when they could hit, the pitching wasn't there. And it was vice versa. Now it seems to me that the pitching and the hitting have somewhat lined up, except for the point that you mentioned, is that they have been having bullpen issues. And it was not like that at the beginning of the season. That was actually probably one of the best aspects of the Yankees roster at the beginning of the year, but it has waned to a certain extent in like the last month and a half or so. But I have to say, the Yankees were dead in the water not too long ago. And they made the trades for Joey Gallo, Anthony Rizzo, and I think just their presence on the team, I think it just sparked a little bit of momentum, and it caused a shift in the current style of play that the Yankees were playing back in the early stretches of July. And you've seen this team really take off, 24-8 potentially if they win this game tonight. I mean, that's a hell of a stretch. So they have been able to kind of ride that success the last month and a half or so. And I think that they could take it pretty much to the end of the regular season. I don't know if it's going to result in winning an AL East pennant or an AL East title, but I think if they keep playing their cards right and they get some decent luck from maybe the Tampa Bay Rays falling off to a certain extent, it could be a scenario where the Yankees are the top dog in the AL East. So I kind of have to see how these series progress because the Rays are still one of the best teams, not just in the American League, but they're one of the best teams in the MLB. So you have to kind of give credit where credit is due when it comes to the Rays' success this year. And I think as long as the Yankees just keep getting the run support for their pitchers, which in the last couple of weeks they have been able to do that, I think they'll be set up for a nice little playoff run. I don't know if it's going to take them all the way to the World Series. I think it's a little bit too premature to say that. But they've been on a great run, and really it's up to them whether or not that they can continue it going into the latter parts of August and then going into September. And that's when everybody gets really excited for baseball, especially if the Yankees and the Rays are battling it out for an AL East title on the line.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like you said, it's kind of cliche, but the ball is in our court and we're in control of our own destiny. If the end of our bullpen can kind of step it up and hold these leads, and if our batters can kind of remain consistent throughout the entire game, I feel like the Yankees will do really, really well in the coming weeks. Of course, we just let up a solo shot to Sano, so now it's 5-7. So of course now I'm sitting here wigging out, but I am very, very excited for postseason baseball. Really can't get here soon enough. I mean, I know it's only August 19th, and we have until about October 3rd until the postseason actually begins. But postseason baseball is like no other. I mean, we've seen magical runs over the last 15 years. I mean, the Cardinals coming back from their deficit. I mean, obviously the Royals coming back from theirs. The Red Sox coming back from their postseason run. Uh, the Cubs coming back to win their first World Series in 100 years. Like 3-1 deficits mean absolutely nothing in baseball because God knows it takes one win to carry a momentum throughout an entire series. So I would definitely say baseball, especially as I've gotten older, has become one of my favorite sports to watch, especially because now I'm a little bit more appreciative to see the Yankees whenever I can. Because I grew up in the Bronx with the Yes Network always on TV. So the games were always on, and as everybody knows, it's 162 games. So the Yankees were always on at some point, and you kind of just got fed up with it. You're like, oh my God, it's on every day. I'm tired of watching. And now that they're not here, like in terms of me watching from Florida, it's kind of frustrating. And it's like, damn, I really wish I could watch them. So it's like people say, don't you're not going to appreciate it until you don't have it anymore. But dude, playoff baseball is like nothing else I could really compare to. I mean, playoff basketball is great too because it's also 7 games, but like baseball, oh my God, we struck him out looking. Let's go. Good shit, Chad Green. Um, Postseason baseball is just magical, man, and I can't wait.
I just have to ask, do you think they will win the AL East?
I think it's possible. I really do. There's a lot of people
You
coming back from injury. I
you
really,
gotta
really do.
you gotta give me a yes or no. Do you think that they will
Yes.
actually do it?
Yes.
All right, they're 5.5 games back. Well, it will be five if they win this game tonight. But
I got
I'm
faith.
not. I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, they came back from 10.5 against the Red Sox in under 2 months. So
Yeah, nobody cares about the shit Sox though.
that's your bias showing. It is what it
Sue
is.
me. I'm a native New Yorker.
Yeah, exactly. Got to represent the Bronx, right?
Yes, sir. You're
Yeah, but with that said, you guys, that'll wrap it up from here. We got a couple more segments coming out later today, so definitely stay tuned when those get uploaded to YouTube later. Kev, do you have anything else to say?
no man. Guys, thank you so much for the support. And we'll be talking to you again soon.
Yep. And if you like the content that we had here, like the video below. If you want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, hit that subscribe button. Kevin and I definitely appreciate any sort of support that we can give for the channel. And we will see you guys in a little bit.